and it's alright to film me.
Oh, good.
The original World War. One follower comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "Praise to my deity, 'tis the greatest one of all." Another comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "Praise to my deity, 'tis the greatest of all." A third comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "All praise to my deity, 'tis the supreme one of all." A fourth comes along, makes a gesture of sorts, says, "Sing praises to my deity, 'tis the mightiest of all." And all this continues to similar effect, and all you know what begins to percolate. What do you mean, your deity? My deity is the greatest of all. What's sacrilege? Mine is the greatest deity. You're both wrong. Mine is the omnipotent deity. Says you. You'll all burn in Hades at the feet of my deity. None of your deities can compare with mine. Blasphemer, sinner, infidel. Needless to say, before too long a battle of all with many fronts has occurred and sadly continues to this day. But surmise to myself whether countless distances above the continual war, the various deities who have been referred to by the warriors below are shaking their heads with resignation and sympathy as they discuss amongst themselves this well-worn query: what have we done to deserve these for our followers? The cancellation of Emmett the Musical Redux. This newsflash just in, the Leaky Tea Spiller's production of Emmett the Musical Redux has been cancelled due to an insurmountable obstacle. No, none of a financial nature, the coffers were bursting beyond the seams. The problem was the utter impossibility surrounding the casting of Young Till. Producer Newt Gingrich was quoted as mulling, "These blacks are just plain ingrates. I mean, you just can't get any of them to take it and like it when they slurred and slapped and slugged. Just can't get them to accept their place anymore. The worst of them was that Barack Obama. When he refused to part, they all began making these prima donna demands, such as equal treatment, respect, and worst of all, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the veriest idea." Glenn Beck, who had been set to star as Roy Bryant, was quoted as whining, "Forgive the black community, Lord, for they know not what's good for them, and we do right, Lord." Rush Limbaugh, when asked about the sad news, kvetched, "This role of J.W. Millen, Bryant's cohort, was to be my shining moment. It took quite a fight for me to beat out Rudolph Giuliani for the part, you know. And those expletives and slurs deleted, went all Mau jungle savage. And worst of all, you had the nerve to use a Yiddish term to describe my belly aching and childish ranting. I'll remember this, just you wait." Leading lady Sarah Palin, who was to play Bryant's wife Carolyn, instigator of it all, seemed to be in a daze about the news. "I just don't understand it. I thought all cute little black boys wanted to eyeball us pure women. After all, weren't they brought to this earth to be branded as lewd and murdered in many delicious ways for our honor?" Director Andrew Breitbart, clearly heartbroken by the news, would only say that someday there will be an Emmett the Musical Redux. "We aren't beaten to death. Besides, this'll give me time to develop some new productions. One I've got in mind is tentatively called Shirley Sherrod, Van Jones, and an Acorn Man, The Triangle. Now that one's sure to be a hit, yes sirree." I'll close with this piece from my latest chapbook, and all of them which are available. It's called Safe and Sound. The poem, that is. Here you sit in your suburban abode, well beyond the security gate, on the quiet side of the sound wall along the thruway, at home watching the news on TV, reveling at the story about the newly erected border fence and the resurrection of old crows. But it's not enough. It never is enough, and they keep on coming. They never stop coming. Soon there will be nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide. Walled in, cut off, suffocation is imminent, and they're still coming. It's enough to cause one to commit the capital offense of building a bridge.